Mic check, what up, what up? This your girl Gangsta Boo. And right now, I see faces in the corner. Ooh. I'll tell you a story. A scary story, though. One about fear, about what fear is. Fear is what? Fear is torment. Fear is war. Fear is death. Fear is disease. Fear is collapse. Hell. Fear is hell. Fear is the only emotion that is designed to save your life, but also the only one associated with taking your life, as in being scared to death. But sometimes fear can be something as simple as lying awake in your bed at night alone thinking, damn, wait, did I just see something? What is that over there in my corner? All right? Like me, you know what I mean? Some people know me as a devil's daughter, El Mafia, or Gangsta Boo from Memphis, Tennessee, from the group 3-6 Mafia. But tonight, I'm Lola Mitchell, and I'm bringing you Faces in the Corner.
Gangsta Boo's music is sort of about human fear and how it can be both stultifying and completely stop you in your tracks, or the idea that it is actually funny, or both, really. One of my favorite rappers of all time, like one of the most influential people in music, period. So thank you. My story is more suspense than horror, I would say. Late 2006 or early 2007, me and my best friend, he had a car, which was a big deal. And, you know, when you're 16 or 17 in Chicago, there are a lot of places that you're sort of able to get in underage, or things like warehouse parties, and like you can just like take a bunch of friends to a park or a beach or drink there, pretty much the same as anywhere else. Sometimes you're even so lucky as to have someone's parents who aren't in town or even like don't care let you do all that in their basement. It's a wonderful pleasure to be able to drink underage while you're inside. But for the most part, you're riding around. You're looking for the next place that will allow you to do that, the next thing that passes for any type of mental occupation, anything at all. Sometimes you're just driving because it's still new to you. But we did find the rare prize of an indoor setting where we could, that wasn't any of our homes, where we could, you know, drink and like smoke shitty weed. And it was actually friends of my best friend. This was a family of people. There was a mom, there was an uncle, there were some cousins, and there were 2 siblings. And they weren't like hardened criminals in any way. Like, they didn't like kill anyone, or like, you know, they were like selling weed for the most part. We would hang out at their house sometime, and it was a bit of a drive, but that's not a problem when you're 16. Where do you have to be? And we would go there. They were cool. We'd like just bullshit about like sports or music and stuff. And it's like, you're just like thrilled to kind of be in a somewhat like adult setting as a kid, and like to not have to obey most of the rules that you usually have to obey. But we did go this one time, and this was the time the story happens. We were there. It was around winter. One of the younger brothers, who were like about our age, like a couple years older, asked to borrow my best friend's car. You know, he said, yeah, I really love it. It was a Catera. He was very like precious about his Catera, which is like pretty funny in retrospect, because that's the car like Paulie from The Sopranos would drive if he wasn't in the mafia. He's like, yeah, you can borrow my Catera, just like don't do anything crazy, like don't get a fucking ticket or whatever. And he's like, yeah, sure. We're like, okay, fine, whatever. Well, we can't go to the store in this time, or like to try to pay a guy to buy us beer in this time, but like we'll be fine, and we'll come back. And this, you know, we've been hanging out in their house so much, they deserve something on our end, a little more than just like the shitty weed or whatever we're bringing. 10 minutes passed. Said it'd be like 10, 15 minutes. Okay. Well, maybe it's a bit late. 20 minutes passed. Okay. Well, we're just like hotboxing this like 2-bedroom apartment with just like the most burnt out, shittiest weed. So we're losing track of time anyway. It's not a real concept. As they say in Dark Souls, time is light, and we were outside of the light and time. So we stopped thinking about it for a bit. We stopped thinking about it for 1 hour. We stopped thinking about it for 2 hours. We kept bullshitting with the people who were there. I had like a really like fat neck at the time, so like the mom would call me like Trump. Essentially, she said I looked like Donald Trump, which I guess like I was just so excited to be compared to like anyone in 2007. I was like, yeah, thank you. But she's like making fun of me, not like brutally, but like pretty funny. We get to hour 3. Now we're counting time again. You know, when you smoke shitty weed, you're only in the clouds for so long before you make that smoky, charred tasting crash down to earth. And we're out of like Bacardi or whatever bullshit we would bring, and we're starting to get worried. What could he possibly be doing for 2 hours? What could he possibly be doing for 3 hours? What could he possibly be doing for 4 hours? This was horrifying because, you know, we knew that the cops in Chicago would just like routinely like pull people over for nothing, like beat the shit out of people. We knew that like these guys, our friends, were like, you know, again, they weren't like hardened criminals, but like bad shit can happen to you. It can, especially if like you have cash on you, or you know, you're in a car that like people haven't seen you in, or whatever. Like bad shit happens for no rhyme or reason. And if someone's gone for 4 hours and they said it'd be 10 or 15, you start assuming the worst. In your paranoid 16-year-old brain, you start trying to come up with reasons why this is going to uniquely impact you. Like, oh, was my shitty like little piece with resin in it in there? Oh, they're going to DNA trace it back to me or some shit, you know, just nonsense, just like bullshit, but you're just hyperactively worrying. But yeah, we were biting our fingernails. It was fucked up. Everyone was nervous. But then like unceremoniously, they arrived. They're back. Our heroes are back. And after the relief subsides, my friend goes, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? You know? Where were you? What were you doing? Now that the suspense is gone, he goes, nothing. Which is such a funny answer after 4 hours, right? Nothing. What kind of nothing? And his brother is like, no, fucking tell him. They were in this club that they would go to a lot. I'm not going to say the name of the club. I don't even know if it still exists. But like, again, you know, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. He was trying to show his friend his gun, and he fucking dropped it. He just fat fingered it. He dropped it. Thank God, didn't hit anyone. Shot out a window though. Everyone cleared out because it's like, yeah, you think someone's shooting the fucking place up, and they sped away from the cops for like, you know, 2 hours of doing this shit, you know? And then this came from like, it contained anxiety that had been curtailed to this thing that like hung over us for a while, where we thought like, oh my God, they're gonna say this car was used in a fucking shooting. Oh my fucking God. I don't even know what I thought would happen to me, because it's like, it wasn't my car, but it's like, oh, what did they prove that you like rode in that car? I don't know what the fuck I thought, but I worried about it so much, so fucking much. But you know what? Like a lot of things in life, this is a loose end that never got tied up. It's just one of those things, and that is the scariest thing sometimes. Some things in life just do not get resolved.
Hey, yo, what up? This your girl Gangsta Boo. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram at Miss Yeaho, MISSYEAHOE. Yo,
Yeah.
man, you in New York now? Where you at?
I am sitting, Lola, in front of St. Mark's Church, which is the oldest place of worship in Manhattan. And it's a spooky old haunted church. St. Mark's Church has got all these crazy haunted stories. So I'm in the East Village, but I'm in a really spooky, actually looking at in front of a graveyard right now.
Why are you doing why? Did you do that just to tell the story?
Yeah, why the fuck? It's on my block, yo. I just like walked out my door and I was like, oh, cool. I can just sit in front of the church and tell these stories.
I need to hear this.
All right. Yeah. Well, so and this is all real shit. Okay. This just happened the other fucking night. Yeah. This past Saturday night, I played a show up in New England, in New Hampshire, in this old ass Revolutionary War town. And so we played this little outdoor festival. It's cool. This is with Superwolves. So we go back to our hotel, which is in an old house from 1775, from a year before 1776. It's this little old house, this cool kind of, it's been an active hotel the whole goddamn time. It's this tiny little New England town. And me and JR, after the show, it's like midnight, we're staying in this old house and we were like, fuck it, let's walk around. It's beautiful. It's just like moonlit. And, you know, we passed graveyards and shit. And so we smoke some weed and we're like, let's find that graveyard. So we go and we find this graveyard that's like really close to where we're staying. But, you know, again, dark night, midnight, old town, stars are out. It's spooky, but it's beautiful. And then we come on this graveyard and there's like a big fence. There's a fence with like a thing over it that says the wives and daughters of 1776, dedicated to the wives and daughters of 1776. And it's this fucking old ass spooky graveyard. So we're already spooked. This is just the other night. I can't stress how funny this was. So we walk in and we're feeling it. You know, it's like this old ass graveyard. And I swear to God, out of nowhere, we hear a sound like a giant fucking animal that goes, this fucking sound. And JR's my girlfriend. We fucking like Scooby-Doo the fuck out of the graveyard. Like, we're like, you know, running out. Swear to God, we're like, what the fuck was that? And then it was so much fun to be that scared, you know what I mean? Wow. And to be like with your girlfriend and be that scared and not know what the fuck it was, but we had our suspicions. So the next morning we went back to the graveyard. There's a horse, there's a field with a horse standing in it right next to it. And it's a blindfolded fucking horse. That's this noisy ass horse. And that's what it was. But it fucking scared the shit out of me.
I love that visual of the blindfolded horse. It just
it was a blindfolded, weird, noisy ass horse. But again, can you imagine just this sound? It was fucked up. So, that which reminded me of another fucked up story that happened to me. This is like mid 90s, and I am gonna spend the first night in this new apartment that's just a big old school loft. And I can tell you exactly where the Supreme store in New York is. It's an old bank. Right next door to it was this 2-story old ass building. And on the second floor and they've since knocked the building down. But there was this old ass building, and I got the sublet where I was gonna, you know, I'm renting this place from a friend who was always traveling, was never there, and always knew all these kind of weird people. But she was like, yeah, there might be somebody staying there, but I'm not sure. Anyway, you know, like first of the month rolls around and I give her money and I put some shit down, you know, whatever. I'm like, I barely had any stuff anyway. And so there's a couch in this big old empty loft. And again, it's a big spooky loft on the Bowery in Manhattan. It was definitely like the Bowery has got all this kind of like Gangs of New York shit, all this kind of history to it, right? And so it's a very fucking spooky loft. I don't know how else to put it, but it's a big room. There's like a shower in the corner. And then my friend had made a little makeshift sort of like kind of a bedroom, just like some drywall that she put up, you know? And so there's kind of like a little area that was sort of like a bedroom, I guess. And then a big empty room with a couch by the window that looks out onto the street. It's late at night. I'm fucking drunk or whatever. I don't know. I'm a kid, but this is the first night in this spooky new place. And I remember thinking, I don't want to stay here alone because it's fucking spooky, but fuck it. So I remember I'm drunk. I go into the place. I'm like, I'm not going to go in that spooky bedroom thing, you know, because I can't deal with that. So there's the couch and there's some light coming in from the street on the couch. I'm like, fuck it. So I go, again, it's late at night. I lie down and I kind of start vibing out of the place. And it's definitely a fucking weird, spooky, the vibes are like, wow, there's probably like a child labor factory in this place, you know, in like the 1800s and shit. It's just like bad vibes. It's just fucking bad vibes. And I'm starting to work myself up, you know, and you know, again, it's mid 90s, it's 2 a.m. I'm in my 20s and I'm all fucked up and I'm like in this new, you know, that song Haunted House, just moved in this house today. Don't. Yeah. There's a song about moving to a haunted house. And I'm thinking about that song. I was like, this is fucked up. And then I swear to God, from out of the bedroom, I hear, this fucking, just like that, like a zombie sound. And I am paralyzed on this raggedy couch, just paralyzed. Like, I can't believe that it's happening, you know? And then I hear again, and I hear shifting and moving around, right? And I'm like, so I sit up and I look in the direction of this fucking bedroom, this dark fucking door, and it gets just like drywall. It's a big room, and in the corner there's a wall, and there's a little hole in the wall, and I'm looking at that hole in the wall, and a fucking dude walks out, a shirtless dude covered in blood walks out of this fucking doorway. He's going, and I just go, yo, dude, whoa. Like I just make a bunch of noise because I just like, I just scream at this bloody fucking zombie human. And the guy kind of comes to and disappears back into the room. And I get the fuck out and get the fuck out of there and stay. So I don't even know where the fuck I stayed that night. So,
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, like,
did you ever figure out who this cat was?
Nope. Never asked.
Oh my God.
I put it together that obviously it was some other friend who must have been blackout drunk and a sleepwalker and had fucking gotten into a fight or something like that. But it was a fucking covered in blood, howling, sleepwalking fucking dude. It was just like a nightmare, you know?
Dude, I would shit myself, no doubt about it.
It was fucked up. Lola, what do you think of that?
It was pretty fucking terrifying. The part when you said, I like when you said you was on a raggedy ass couch.
Oh, dude, it was so spooky. So those are like my spooky stories. Now, these are just a couple of quick near-death stories that.
Damn, Matt, you got stories.
that I'm going to tell them really quick, and they involve traveling on private airplanes. Okay, so I'm gonna and if you don't mind, I'm gonna leave out whose fucking planes they were because it's not a big deal.
Okay, no problem.
But it was people I was fucking working with back a long time ago. It doesn't matter. So, two stories, two very different situations.
Private plane, PJ vibe.
Yes. So I'm working on a fancy record in LA, and I get invited by the kindness of the singer to go to Las Vegas to like just see them play a show and then go back to work in LA. And they're like, hey, they got it. I got my plane and we're just going to do it. You want to go? I was like, hey, fuck, what am I going to say? No, so everything's cool. It's a private plane. I remember there was fucking leopard print, maybe pink leopard print wallpaper. It seats about, maybe 10 seats, and it's cool. And I'm trying to be chill, trying to be cool and respectful, and
act like you've been there before.
Yeah, and in a private plane, when you go up, it's like a roller coaster. You like it doesn't feel that way in a jet. I don't know how that works, but when you're in a jet plane, in a little jet plane, and you're going into the sky, so the plane takes off, everything's cool. But I was like, whoa, like you really feel that you are going way up, like you're
like a rocket.
Yeah. It feels like a rocket or a roller. You're fucking back and your head's kind of leaning back and you're going up. And I remember asking the pilot. You can speak to the pilot, and I think I was like, how long does it take how long does the whole rise take? And he's like, it just takes about 10 minutes or something like that. It says, cool. So So the plane's going up and it's going up and it's been like, we're fucking still going up. And then we level off. And so finally it's like, wow, damn, we're up there. There's like there's three people, 3 passengers and the pilot. Okay. So we're like, okay, maybe get a drink. And all of a sudden this sound like happens. And it sounds just like static from a radio, but really loud. And weirdly, everybody has the same reaction, which is like, oh, I guess the radio got turned on really loud. Oh, strange. Like there's static, like, and then we're like, no, what the fuck? Radio? There's no radio. What the hell? What is this weird loud sound? We're kind of trying to figure it out, and it's loud. It's like, again, and like talking just like, hey, what the fuck is that? I don't know. Hey, pilot. And dude, the singer dude's like, pilot, dude, what's up? And the pilot isn't saying anything.
Oh,
He's just flicking a bunch of fucking switches. Okay.
Oh my God.
So, and again, the one thing that's going through my head is like, how long does it take to get back down to the ground? I was like, it takes a really fucking long way because we had this ascent that was fucking 10 minutes or whatever, of like straight up in the air, so it's like, I'm feeling that we're just so fucking high above, and I know that there's no landing this thing, and like that's the first thing that's happening. But it's all like taking place very slowly, because it's that car wreck time, And so the point of the story is to say, when something weird like this happens and something terrifying like this happens, you actually don't get scared. The whole time I was like, well, that's really weird. Everything just like slows down, And I was like,
yeah.
I was like. That's not a radio. There's no radio. What the fuck am I? What is that? And then it's like, and then the pilot's, flicking the switches. That's weird. And then dude goes, there's smoke coming out of the bathroom. And I go, what? And I turn around, and behind us there is smoke coming out of the bathroom, and it smells like gas. Okay.
Oh my God, dude.
And the plane is smoking and it smells like gas, and there is the sound of ripping, just wah, and we're miles and miles and miles above. And again, singer guy goes, dude, what the fuck is going on? No answer to the pilot. He is just working. He's flicking switches, and fucking wah, the sound stops. And the pilot says, we lost an engine, but don't worry, that's why we have 2 engines.
Oh.
And we're like, are you serious? He goes, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. He goes, that all planes have a backup engine. We're fine. So I was like, okay. So then we had to fly to fucking Vegas, which was basically just, we had to descend and land the fucking thing. And there was a bottle of booze, and I just drank the booze, and we landed and got In-N-Out Burger.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. But
There's
it was it sucks. It was so weird. But again, I gotta say, everybody fucking stayed cool because I distinctly remember this. I just remember thinking, this is really fucking hilarious. I am looking at pink leopard print wallpaper on a private plane. I'm gonna fucking, this is it. And there was no way to get scared or anything. It was just like, this is fucking stupid.
It's like there's a certain hilarity to it.
Oh my God. The whole thing just felt stupid, but it was as real as fucking rain, it was gnarly.
So when y'all was going up, that's when the engine blew out?
Yes. It was like after we went up, then the engine blows out. So it was like this endless descent. So it was like, okay, cool. Now we're finally way up in the sky. Bam. Then,
it's just that gnarly experience of every time you've ever gotten on a plane, like you do have that little fleeting thought of like, okay, well, what if this thing goes down? And like you actually experienced the next level of that.
Yes. Okay.
And
so then
he was all stoic and wasn't saying shit is even worse.
Well, did the pilot not saying shit? And again, the pilot who was like, blah, 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 he was like, the pilot, buddy, the fun pilot. And then all of a sudden he's just silent and flicking the switches,
Oh.
And so we were like, what the fuck was that noise? And he was like, he goes, when the engine blew out, I had to like open up like an air, it was basically like a vent that was allowing the smoke from the fucking engine to go threw the plane out the other side, some sort of, it's like an emergency vent thing, He explained everything that he explained. He explained, he was great, He explained everything that he did. I wish that he could have said, I wish he would have talked when he was flicking the switches. I just wish he would have said, we're fine. He didn't,
So was everybody else paranoid? Were you like freaked out, you think? Or
everybody was completely freaked out. And this dude who owned the plane, like when we landed, the whole thing was like, everybody stayed cool and nobody was going to fucking freak out. That was sort of established, And I waited until we got on the ground into the hotel, I think, when I was like, has anything remotely like that ever happened? He goes, dude, absolutely not. I was so fucking scared. That was insane,
Yeah, I really felt like I was on a plane with you now. I swear to God, that was, whoa, that's intense.
Okay, so you think I would have learned my lesson, but nope. I got asked I got offered by a young guy who just got his pilot's license to fly to an island in Maine where his family has a bunch of land and an airfield, and this guy has been training for years, and he's recently got his pilot's license, and he's used to this thing. I was like, fuck it, why not? What's the worst that can happen? So this is a propeller plane. This is a totally different deal, but I trust this guy because this guy's very, very serious about his pilot shit. He's super serious, And we have a really fun flight to Maine. I remember I was like we could listen to music. It's like this little, it's like riding on a motorcycle through the air or something like that. It's like, it's not exactly chill, but I don't know how else to put it, but it's not scary, just, I'm of the mind that, I know I'm going to die in a fucking car. You know what I mean? Because cars are so fucking dangerous and planes are a million times less dangerous. And I just leave it at that,
Yeah.
So I'm just like moving past all the plane scaredness and so I'm having fun. I'm forgetting about that other fucking thing that happened, the other story, but also it feels so different. It's a totally different deal. Even like with it, like for example, in the case of like losing an engine on this plane, you can actually glide down and land. Like this, it just feels safer to me for some reason.
You like propeller planes better?
I kind of weirdly do. Better than little jet planes, because when that one fucking thing went wrong in the little jet plane, it was like, now we're just in a ball of steel that's going to drop. You know what I mean? There's something about like the way that propeller planes are designed, where I think at least this plane that I was in, I had a sense like, I don't know, if shit gets fucked up, this dude can land it.
I call propeller planes La Bamba.
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, for real. Like so flight goes off of that hitch, and we're approaching this island. And again, this is Maine. It's like Eastern Seaboard. It's a sunny day. It's been a sunny day. The pilot dude says, he goes, man, this is cool. He's like, we're landing at the last legal time that you could land on an unlit airfield. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So this is the only time I get a little nervous. I was like, right, airfield. And we're approaching this island, and it's like the airfield is like on a sort of a cliff, and it just looks a little scary. It just looks a little like very raw and analog. It's like, right. So you're gonna land this fucking plane on that thing that's like more of a field. It doesn't look like really an airplane landing thing. It looks like a field on a cliff, but whatever, I'm like, but and of course, you don't want to be scared, and so you did. Yeah. So, and so you're not scared. And so I was like, I trust this dude, but this is, it's more a little bit thrilling. Now it feels a little bit like a ride, and because I'm friends with this dude, I say, is this a nerve-wracking land for you? And he goes, the only thing nerve-wracking about it is the deer. And I go, deer? He goes, yeah, around this time, like the deer start running around, and if we hit a deer on the airfield, we are fucking liquefied. I was like, really? He goes, yeah.
Wow.
He goes, dude, these planes weigh nothing. Like how like if you're in a lightweight car, a deer can kill you. If you fucking if you run into it could go through the windshield, fuck you up, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're fucked if that happens. He just says it. I go, okay, whatever. And I was like, whoa. And now the sun's going down. I was like, this guy's kind of stunting, he's sort of stunting,
yeah.
And everything slows down because this fucking deer, there's a family of deer. And they're walking out. I couldn't fucking believe it. And it really wasn't, again, it wasn't scary. It was like, holy shit, like it was like, and it was like 5 fucking asshole deer on the fucking airfield, and dude fucking lands the plane and bounces over them. Okay, he goes badoosh and over their fucking deer heads, and then we have to clear the fucking trees at the end of the runway because like just so he fucking clears the deer and then clears these trees, and all of this happens, in this amount of time, you know what I mean? But it was enough time to be like, holy shit, there's fucking deer. Oh my God, we're gonna hit the deer. Holy shit, he hit the ground, he's pulling up over the deer. Oh my God, there's trees. It was like that. And fucking clears everything. And then he has to circle the motherfucking island again. It's a little island, but he has to circle it to fucking land. And now the sun's going down again. And who knows what the fuck is gonna be the fucking thing. And so it takes about 5 more goddamn minutes, and then he fucking lands the plane. Nobody says anything. I get out. He makes some joke because somebody was meeting us there, and he just like the pilot acts like nothing happened, and then I go, dude, thanks. And he goes, oh, what for? And I could tell, and I look at him, and I could tell he's fucking bugging, and like he's freaking out. I was like, you saved our lives. You did a bunch of good moves, man. Thanks. You kept your fucking cool. It's great. And we don't have to talk about it. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I was just doing my job. It doesn't matter, So but then I got to say that night we're staying in this little house on this island, and that night I heard I got up to pee and I heard some talking in like the living room or in area. It was like super late at night, and we had a fire going, and I hear just a voice. I hear some mumbling. I look and it's our dude, the pilot, is just staring into the fire. And I remember he was just like, what a news. He's just like, had drunk himself completely into a stupor and was just tripping, But
what were you doing when he was landing, like over the deer? Like how would you describe your feeling? Like what were you feeling like?
I couldn't, again, not even scared, just like, motherfucker, like,
I like to tell like a car wreck.
Yeah,
slow.
it's just slow. It's like a Whippet's voice. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
oh my God.
Really? So I started to say, man, it's like every time you're in a near-death experience, it's like your internal narrator's like,
yeah, but it's always this. It's just chopped. Basically, life becomes chopped and screwed in these moments. Luckily, all these stories aren't about, they're like it's not about somebody hurting, doing violence onto another person or something like that. It's just these very surreal disaster situations that everybody's kind of got in the back of their mind, and then it fucking happens. And when it does, you just kind of can't believe it. You're just like, are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? Like that's the vibe,
Yeah. Oh man. Oh my God. Like I like the way you brung me into that. Like Tom, don't you feel like I felt like on both flights.
Bouncing over the fucking deers, man. I was like,
see, this is what I'm trying to wonder. Okay, can we ask you a question? So, like, what you mean bounce? So he landed.
Okay, so he landed. He brought the plane down like early, so we wouldn't run into the deer. He kind of like jammed the plane down, so we would bounce, like we were on a dead course to hit the deer. So instead, he kind of nosed it down and landed early, and then pulled up really quick. Like basically like a bouncing ball. It was like boom. Like really fucking split second decision making. Like, what am I gonna do? Do I hit the deer or do I risk this move? And he risked the move, and then so he, and I swear to God, dude, I mean, we were over their goddamn antlers. I mean, it was just that close. You could see, you could smell the fuckers.
I know you were scared, and I know I'm just picturing your little cool ass swag. I know you was on that motherfucker keeping it player, like, but oh my God.
Yeah, but I gotta say, so in all the stories, the only one where I lost my shit was just last Saturday night, that goddamn graveyard, when that goddamn animal noise happened. When you're in a graveyard from 1776, a fucking Revolutionary War goddamn graveyard, and all of a sudden this loud monster noise happens.
Yeah,
we literally, it was like Scooby-Doo. We were like, nah! Like,
why was the horse blindfolded? I thought you were talking about a fucking statue.
Because actually JR grew up around horses. I guess bitch ass horses, you put them in blindfolds and they don't bug, and they shut they're supposed to chill.
It's like with racehorses when they put the blinkers on.
Blinders,
I know about those.
But it was fucking all these other stories that were very real. I was cool as a motherfucker, I gotta say, or as cool as I could be. But like the graveyard, that fucking monster noise, I was a fucking, I was running out of a graveyard like Shaggy. I was fully Shaggy.
Oh, that's crazy, yo. You killed it.
That's it for tonight, folks. If you like what you've heard, hit the show notes for the pre-order link to our companion zine, which, if you order one, will be hitting your mailboxes very soon. Don't want a zine, but want to give us a love offering instead? Our Venmo and Cash App links are in the show notes as well. Faces in the Corner is brought to you by Boss Babies LLC and through the generous support of our sponsors and listeners like you. Faces in the Corner is produced by me, Tom Sexton, Matthew Carter, Levi Funk, and Daniel Pujol, with original music by Daniel Pujol. Thanks again for being with us, and remember, when you lay your head down tonight and you cut off all those lights, may the faces you see in the corner be ever in your corner. Sweet dreams.